Hello Year 8s, what I thought I'd do is give you a bit of a presentation on solving equations with unknowns on both sides. I know this has been a bit of a question that's turned up on some math pathways tests that you haven't quite known how to solve, so I thought I'd run through a few examples here and now. So what happens if we have 3 times some number plus another one is equal to 2 times the same number as before, x here is the same as x here, plus 4. What is x equal to? Well, the way to do it is, I guess, this way. What we want to do is to get all the unknowns onto one spot on the one side. So what we'll do is we'll minus 2x from each side. If we minus 2x from each side, we keep the equation balanced. So 3x's, take away 2x's, leaves 1x. And 2x's, take away 2x's, well, they'll cancel out and leave nothing because they undo each other. And I'll just write down the 4 there. Now I can get rid of this 1 by minusing 1 on each side. If I minus 1 on each side, plus 1 minus 1, they'll cancel out and just leave the x. And 4 take away 1 is 3. Let's try another one. What about if we want to do this one? 2x minus 5 is the same as 19 minus x. Well, what could x be equal to? What number? Could it be equal to 2 or 3 or 4 or 20? Well, let's see. What we need to do again is to get all the x's onto one side and then all the numbers onto the other side. So let's see. If I plus x onto this side and plus x onto this side, 2x's plus another x is 3x. And that's 3x minus 5. Minus x plus x, well, they're opposites and will cancel out. Is equal to 19. Now how can I get rid of this minus 5? What's the opposite of a minus 5? Well, if I plus 5 on each side, minus 5 plus 5 is equal to, well, it cancels out and leaves just 3x. And 19 plus 5 is 24. Now how can I get rid of this 3x? Well, this is really 3 times some number x is equal to 24. So what 3 times what number is equal to 24? Well, you might guess 8 and you'd be correct. Now if you divide it on each side by 3, times by 3 is undone by divide by 3 because times is the opposite of divide, and that just leaves x on its own. 24 divided by 3 is 8. So there's another problem done. Let's try one more. What about if we had this one? 11 take away 2x is equal to x minus 1. What could x be? Could it be 3 or 4 or 10 or 20? What we need to do is the same thing that we've done previously. Let's get all the x's onto one side and all the numbers onto the other side. Now since I have minus 2x here, what about if I plus 2x onto this side here and plus 2x onto this side here? Well, minus 2x plus 2x, they're opposites and will cancel out. So that'll leave me 11 on the left hand side here. Now 1x plus another 2x's is 3x's. And 3 lots of our secret number minus 1 is equal to 11. Well, let's see. If I plus 1 onto both sides, 11 plus 1 is 12. And minus 1 plus 1, well, they're opposites and will cancel out. Now if I have 3x is equal to 12, and it doesn't matter which way I write it around, 12 is equal to 3x, or 3x is equal to 12. If I divide by 3 on this side, this is 3x is x, 3 times by x. Now if I divide by 3, these are the opposites and cancel out and just leave x on its own. And 12, how many 3's is equal to 4. Now let's just make sure that this is correct. So if I said 11, take away 4 times 2, well, 4 times 2 is 8. 11 take away 8 is 3. Now on the other side, if I have 4 in place of the x from here, if x is 4, 4 take away 1 is 3. So each side is equal to 3, which makes sense. Alrighty, let's try another one. Okay, so here we have another problem. 7 take away 2 times some number is equal to that same number plus 13. Alright, the same type of ideas are going to keep coming up here again and again, and we'll eventually kind of work it out. See how we have x's on both sides of our equation, here and here? What we need to do is to be able to get all the x's onto one side. Now the easiest way to do that is to plus 2x onto both sides. Now if we plus 2x onto both sides, we keep the equation the same. See how we've plus 2x here and plus 2x there. We've plus the same amount onto both sides. Now minus 2x plus 2x, they're opposites, just like minus 7 is the same as the opposite of plus 7, minus 9 is the opposite of plus 9. These two are opposites and will cancel each other out. So all that's left is 7. And 1x plus another 2x is 3x. Now I need to get x equaling to something. Now what I'll do for the next step is to take away 13 from both sides. Now the idea when I take away 13 is I'm going to get x on its own, because plus 13 minus 13, they're opposites and will cancel out. 7 take away 13 is minus 6. So 3x is equal to minus 6. Now if I divide on both sides by 3, x will be equal to, now a negative divided by a positive is a negative. 6, how many 2's is 3. So here the solution should be minus 2. Now let's see if this makes sense. So if I take this left hand side here, 7, take away 2, now in place of the x is minus 2. So let's see, a minus times by a minus is a plus, and 2 times 2 is 4. So this left hand side is equal to 11. I wonder what the right hand side is equal to. Well, if we said x plus 13, now we think x should be equal to minus 2. Well, minus 2 plus 13, well if we have minus 2 and we add on 13, it will add up to 11. Think about it in terms of a temperature gauge. Maybe if it's minus 2 degrees and it rises 13 degrees, what will be the temperature? 11 degrees. So if the left-hand side equals the right-hand side, then x must be equal to minus 2. Last one. Here's another example. Now minus 2 is equal to minus 3 lots of some number x. That's equal to minus 12 minus 8x. Now let's see, what could x be? Well, let's try and work it out. So there are, I guess, a number of different ways we could work it out. What I'll do here is I will try to get all the x's onto one side. So if I plus 8x on this side and plus 8x on this side, I've kept my equation balanced. Minus 8x plus 8x, they're opposites and will cancel each other out. And all that's left on the right hand side is minus 12. Now I've got this minus 2, which will come down. Now minus 3x plus 8x is 5x. Okay, well that's pretty good. Now I'll rewrite this, so plus 5x can go in front here and minus 2 can go at the end. Now I need x equals something, so I'll need to get rid of this minus 2. Now what's the opposite of a minus 2? Well, the opposite of a minus 2 is a plus 2. So minus 2 plus 2 will cancel each other out, and that'll leave 5x, and minus 12 plus 2. Well, if it's minus 12 degrees and the temperature rises 2 degrees, that is minus 10. Now I need to get rid of this 5, because 5 lots of some number x is equal to minus 10. Now you might have worked that out. It is minus 2. If I divide by both sides on 5, times by 5 and divide by 5 are opposites, and cancel out, and just leave x on its own. Now a negative divided by a positive, because 5 without the plus 5 is still just 5. A negative divided by a positive is a negative. 10 how many 2's? 10 how many 5's is 2. So there you go. Well, I hope all that helped, and I'll see you in class.